dramatic.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is episode 14 of the Lucky Cards series, and in today's episode we're finding out who is the Ace and Two of Diamonds. Now the Ace of Diamonds is owned by Irony Soccer, or One Ronnie Soccer or something. And then the Two of Diamonds is owned by J Martinez 2686. And yeah, let's find out who is the Ace of Diamonds. Animal, okay, not a bad pick, not a bad pick. And Two of Diamonds is Wade Barrett, also a pretty good pick there actually. Wade Barrett, actually, I want him in a different attire. But yeah, Animal versus Wade Barrett. Let's skip to the match. And we're back in the match now. Look at this arena, the Pepsi Arena, can you remember it? It's from a series I did a while ago now, when it was Pepsi versus Fanta. That was a long time ago, but I still kept the arenas, and this one has been picked. Goody, goody. It's not a bad arena per se, it's just not really too good either. But anyway, Animal versus Wade Barrett. Animal, I just don't like him, to be honest. I don't know why, I never really did like Legion of Doom too much. Even though I haven't really seen them wrestle that often. But when Animal was back and he had that whole thing with Heidenreich taking over Hawk, it was just it just wasn't too good, and I just didn't really like him, to be honest. Then there's Wade Barrett, who's out with injury. He has a broken arm because of Big Show throwing Dolph Ziggler out the ring on top of him. And yeah, he broke his arm, and you know, that's him out of action for a long time, probably still another few months yet. But anyway, I don't know, Wade Barrett's probably a good, well, both of these are probably a good pick in the Royal Rumble. I mean, it doesn't really matter how good they are in real life now or anything. It pretty much just matters about the overall and their moveset. And yeah, Animal's overall is 90 and Wade Barrett's was 87 there, I think, or was it 89? I'm not sure. One of the two, and they're both pretty good overalls, and they're both big guys who are quite strong, and yeah, they're both probably going to be good picks in this little series here. So, you know, can't really be disappointed unless you do have Animal, because I just don't like him. But yeah, what I want to know is, speaking of Heidenreich, why did the WWE release him? I thought he was a really good person. I mean, he came out with Paul Heyman in a, like, as what do they call it? Them white jacket things with the arms tied behind your back. I forgot the name of them, but you know what I mean anyway. And yeah, he came out of the ring in one of them, and then he got released with it. And he was like a big guy. He was around like 6'10" or 11 maybe. I think he was around that height. He was big, and yeah, he even had a few rivalries with people like Undertaker, and you know, he was like he was a pretty good wrestler, to be honest. And then, you know, he had his whole poetry thing where he kidnapped Michael Cole and sang him some poetry, or read him out some poetry, which I found quite funny. And yeah, he was a pretty good strong wrestler, and someone to, you know, you shouldn't really mess with, and they got rid of him, and I don't know why. I don't know, it's up to him whether he was released or not. He might have wanted to leave, but I don't know why he would want to leave the WWE, unless he was sick of being on the road all the time and stuff like that. But I don't know, I wouldn't think it would be like that, but I don't know. It's weird, to say the least, I guess, why they released him. And then Animal, he's just getting old now and doesn't wrestle anymore, and you know, he's still good on the game because they've made him sort of in his prime, I guess. And then same with Hawk, and you know, he's good in the game, but not so much now. And then I don't know how, like, all the older people, like the older people, managed to lose all of their wrestling ability. I mean, it's like riding a bike, I would think. I mean, you can't just forget how to wrestle, I guess. Like, especially if you haven't been gone too long. Like, you can't just forget everything. You must be able to remember the basics and some of the harder moves that you know. I mean, especially if you've been doing it for years, it's not something that you just forget how to do. I mean, it's like going back to a really old game. I mean, a really old game for me would be like Spyro. I mean, I used to play that every day, like non-stop, when I was around 6 or 7 and stuff like that. And then I go back to it now and I just know everything that's going to happen, and it doesn't really surprise me, and I feel like I can do better now than what I did. So if you're practicing wrestling, I mean, this is literally years upon years of wrestling practice that you have in the ring. I don't understand how some of these older people just forget, really. I mean, been doing it for years, even if they don't do it for a few years, you know, it's just, if you knew you were going to wrestle again, you would have like a few warm-up matches to get back into the swing of things. Maybe like 2 or 3 wrestling training matches, just against someone like where no one sees and it's just you and him, just throwing down a few moves, you know. You wouldn't be going into it blind, not remembering anything at all. You would know what's going to happen, and I don't understand when older people forget how to like DDT properly and clothesline properly and just stuff like that. It's just, it's not so much annoying, it's just, it makes the wrestling matches more boring, I guess, when the older people can't remember what they're doing. Like The Rock, he is the biggest example of this. When he came back for WrestleMania and he was against John Cena, they literally had a 2-minute long section where The Rock had Cena in a headlock, or it might have been vice versa, and The Rock just didn't know what he was meant to do next. And then after about 2 minutes of that, he said, okay, let's go for DDT. And then I think The Rock threw Cena off the ropes, and then The Rock DDT'd him, and it was just like, oh, how did it take you so long to remember what you were doing? And yeah, Animal picks up the win here. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see when your card is coming. And other than that, I will see you next time.